See,
Already we have sent the report and everything.
they've sent the reports in writing, but obviously I don't think they're prepared to present this. And but we'll have to have clarity on this next time onwards. There are two ways. One is that everybody sends in the report, and then these are analyzed by at least two people. I think this is the kind of thing you should put vice presidents, if there are vice presidents, or or president 2, 3, whatever, to sit, go through all those, and choose the first and second according to them, and ask them to present in this meeting. Then the ones which you have selected, which you feel objectively are the two best, those two should be requested to make a presentation in CSR for 5 minutes each. And on basis of that, then they get a certificate of appreciation. At least there will be some effort to say what they have done. There is some documentation, recording, and it's first presented here and then it is accepted. That's a logical step towards giving a certificate of appreciation.
Very good idea.
We go this route, but still it means you have to find out what are the objectives of deciding which is better.
Then there was a Center of Excellence agenda. I think Dr. I'll give you a basic idea. I spoke in our function also. Basically, we have realized one thing. And then I'll hand it over to you. I'll just float the basic idea. You know about it. I'll just repeating it. We are looking forward to identifying few centers throughout India, where we can send our own people for training on different super specialties of orthopedics, maybe let us say spine, arthroplasty, pediatrics. In the last EC meeting, on Dr. Maria's suggestion, we were going very careful on this particular thing, because ultimately, supposing if we choose one particular center of excellence and send our member for training there, then he is likely to put up a certificate that he has been trained in arthroplasty. So we wanted to be really sure that whatever centers of excellence chosen, they are really so. Depending on this input, a performa was devised, which was sent to all the people who had applied for this particular thing. I believe there are 28 people, and Dr. Atul Bahadur was given this task of sending this performa and getting a feedback from them. Then he will tell us the details.
We had received 28 applications by email, and in the previous EC we decided on the performa, which was then sent to all the members, requesting them to fill it up and send it. The email blast was also there, which was sent earlier on. I have received 3 reports prior to coming to IOACON. One from Dr. Sakti Das from Odisha, 2 were from Dr. IPS Oberoi and Dr. Verma from Gurgaon. And yesterday evening, I received an email from Dr. Shah. He has also filled up his form and sent it. And we have received some applications from even Amrita Institute, and we are in the process of, we have not got back the feedback. Once we have a sufficient number of these reports, they will be sent to a committee which will decide of people who are leaders in the fields, and they'll decide whether the sort of training program, the trainee who goes there, will be beneficial. And we have also in a process, once this starts, to develop a form for the trainees who will give a feedback from what they have learned or what they were expecting and they didn't get. So the basic idea is to have a two-way traffic where the people who are asking for it, they give information, people who go, they give information, and we slowly evolve and develop into a system where we ourselves are training people. We are seniors are shouldering responsibilities for the juniors, because there are many things which are not taught in the medical college. So this is the basic idea, and it is going to take a very long time to evolve.
Any comments?
Yeah, it is good idea, sir. Particularly for B and C class cities, where there is some specific institution, they are unrecognized, are having this, and they are doing practical work. But in national cities, they are not coming up. By this center of excellence, they can do their work.
Yeah, but for Center of Excellence, have we defined in detail that who will be Center of Excellence objectively? What is expected to be, the pro forma. That pro forma is, that is what people need to know, which we have this thing, because it's important that we do not make Center of Excellence on basis of level 5 evidence. I say my institute is the best. That's not how you become a center of excellence. You have wonderful centers of excellence in terms of work, but what we are looking for is centers of excellence for teaching. People should have time and interest in teaching and not in just showing what they have in terms of structure and infrastructure. This is very important, and that is where last time also I said be careful, because this should not be a certificate hanging there next to the NABH certificate, Center of Excellence IOA. That's not the aim. It should be genuinely, and then you can hang what you like, but first do the work.
What exactly we've asked all the centers? We have basically asked centers for the areas of their special interest. We've asked for the details. It was a 3-week program where the basic training, midweek training, training, and the final training. And we asked how they would go about it, what facilities will they offer the trainees, and finally then we have the feedback form. That is the most important thing. For the people who go, if they don't give a feedback, we are at a loss, because we cannot develop without both sides. We have to hear both the sides, and then we can get back to the people who are running those centers. This is where people felt there was something lacking, and we need to develop further. And slowly I think people will come around and realize that it is paramount importance to train juniors if we want the speciality to evolve. Because people at the 5th level may be knowing a lot, but people at the grassroots level who are working on the peripheries, they need to know what is a good modality of treatment or how to go about certain practical tips. That is the most important thing of this issue.
Also, can you just read out the headings of the performance?
The headings as they were was name and detail of center, address, the contact person, the name, the contact number, preferable time to contact, the email. Then we have had an alternate contact person, again the same details. Then associated faculties with areas of interest, the other faculties that are available in the center. Then we have areas of special interest. The 6th point is preferable duration of training with a format for a 3-week training, basic week, mid-level week, glimpse of advanced training. 7 is facilities, if any, which can be offered to attending trainees like boarding and lodging. Expectations from attending trainees. 9 is brief summary about the center, number of surgeries performed in a year, number of surgeries in the subspecialty being offered, publications from the center in the subspecialty offered in an index journal, list of state-of-art equipment relating to the subspecialty, any past experience of training young orthopedic surgeons. This is the information that we had asked for, and I have been through the 3 applications which I have received. I have given the hard copies to the office, and the 4th has come in yesterday.
Any other point you think should be?
No, I think this is fairly good. Obviously, if I start analyzing, it's very easy to start picking up small things, but I think one statement in future in the end is, what do you expect the trainee to be able to do or achieve out of this time spent with you? 3 lines or 4 lines, that the center which wants to be the center, I should be able to say the trainee at the end of this would have assisted so many of these, and I expect him to have basic skill in being able to perform a hemi replacement arthroplasty on his own, and or my observation, if he or suggest further training or whatever the language, but we need to put the ball in the court of the person who's training. Certain amount of commitment has to come, that I promise, in a way that it's like the note, your 5 rupee, 10 rupee note says, I promise to pay the bearer this much. So he says, I promise to tell the trainee or make the trainee understand this. Otherwise, it should reduce objectivity, and it should become a matter of enjoyment and honor for whoever is doing this, and not a matter of gloating or showing off that he is one of these, So this is it, and it is on the turn. The younger people are already thinking on those lines. The things are changing, but these are the things. But principally, I think this is a very good start, a very good pro forma. It's very easy to keep changing things, but let's at least start it. And then when these come, when do you propose to choose some? When is your date for choosing some?
No, we haven't kept any date, but I am hoping that once we have at least about 10 applications, then we can, I'll go back and send reminders to everybody. And I hope to have by maybe January, by the next EC, we should be in a situation to actually send.
So, sir, if I was to ask you, if you had decided on 4 or 5, can after the next EC it be instituted, or it again goes to GBM to ratify these 5 centers? What is the rule? Because nobody knows them better than you. What is the rule of this?
So we have already floated out the idea, but we have already told the GB, and we will tell it tomorrow also, that we are still in the performa and we are waiting for the results. And according to the performa, whatever the other centers chosen would be given the go ahead to take the trainees. I don't think we'll go to the GB once again for this thing.
So in other words, somewhere in April, May, we should be able to launch this. But that makes sense. That's good. It's fine. Whatever be the numbers, it is if you have 3 good ones, it's enough. If you have 100 not so good ones, then you say that we are not doing it.
So we can add this. We have this point number 8, which says expectations from attending trainees. We can add these points that you have referred to in this point.
I just want the same thing is fine, but it should be the other way. What should the trainee expect from you? Because that is what your commitment to trainee is. You may keep expecting anything from trainee. Anyway on the ground, he has to learn from you. And he's been through all this all his life, trying to learn from people and commit. But what is our commitment to you as a trainee? What are we going to do for you? So that part can be added.
I'll do that.
That's all. I think broadly that's enough.
Logbook for the
That
trainees, so they will deposit
once,
the-
I think we'll also have to give them directions once this happens, that you actually need to have this in place. If a person is going to a center for trauma, the center should have at least 50 trauma patients a month coming in, and they should have their register or OT register and logbook confirming them, subject to IOA. If there's any doubt, the IOA team should be able to inspect it with due respect, with enough time, or verify in any way. You don't want somebody saying you're doing 7 knee replacements and say 500 are done here every month, because it doesn't matter how you boast in public, but don't waste the other guy's 3 weeks. He's going to stop work, he's going to take out his time, he's going to leave his family and children home, and he comes there and finds that in 3 weeks he's seen 2 knee replacements, and that too taking 6 hours each. So we've got to be very careful. This is repeatedly who's doing, how they're doing, and the reports coming in. If 3 people from different areas go to one center and all give a negative report, we'll need to sit with that center contact person and tell him to hold back till he can come back with better results. This is a thing which we are venturing into, which has huge amount of responsibility. You just think about it. It's a great responsibility. It's not to be taken lightly.
Okay,
Right, sir.
We'll proceed on those lines.
Yeah.
These are the mostly the agenda which was there. You wanted to show some PPT. आपको दिखाना चाह रहे ना? मैं आ गया हूँ.
इसमें लगा लेता हूँ मैं.
वही सर वो रिपोर्ट तो भेज दी है मेल पे.
रिपोर्ट आपको आज जो किया उसके अलावा कुछ बताना चाहते हैं? या कुछ नहीं? It is okay.
Any other suggestions, or everybody?
Sir, I request that there should be more and more this public related activity of IOA, means like bone and joint decades, roadside accident, this prevention of roadside accidents, osteoporosis detection camp. This is to be conducted in mass scale, in small in size, means in small groups. And for that there should be some funding from IOA. Our fund is coming from various sources to IOA, so we give some amount, means 5%, 7% to be given for these academic works or research work, or some conducting the workshop. In 2-3 years back, they conducted some pediatric orthopedic workshop in various centers, but it was not fulfilled. Only 10 or 15 workshop was conducted, and other remaining 30 or 40 workshop was lapsed. Such scenes are going on.
We were dependent for that on Abbott company, And companies, I mean, since we haven't really, what can you do? You can, there must be some breakdown in understanding or expectations, and when this happens, but it's very difficult for IOA to fund on individual. We can fund the PG courses. I'll let Dr. Kapoor answer this.
Actually, at the moment, we have 3 activities which can get funds from IOA. One is a particular CME you want to conduct, for which you are given rupees 25,000. Second is a rural orthopedic program, which is supposed to be in a smaller town, which will benefit the orthopedic surgeons of that particular area. For that, you may get 50,000 rupees. And for holding a PG course, PG instructional course, one gets 75,000 rupees. These are the activities which are already there. If you wish to apply on those lines, you should apply. But please do apply at least about 2-3 months before you propose to hold the particular activity. Give us some time to decide. There is a performa for, there is a performa for that, in the sense that how many, I don't remember by heart now, but basically how many attendees are going to be there and who are the faculty and what is the topic. So if those things seems to be okay, then we'll be glad to offer this thing.
My request is, sir, like hand surgery. Like we can conduct this 20 or 50 this hand surgery workshop at different places. Like that, we can conduct this IO courses, basic courses. We can having this mutual contact with these people.
So if it is on those lines which he just said, you can apply for whatever money.
This is relative. CME is an educational program. So you can.
So among the rural orthopedics, if you are hinting at a smaller place and you arrange a course on hand section and saying just enumerating that, just outlining very clearly that in which areas orthopedician will be benefited by this hand course, then it will come under rural orthopedics. But we should be able to give 50,000 rupees. But it has to be justified.
So one point what my opinion, to bidding the same in every ICON is it's not any guidelines by IOA. So is there any chance to make it a guidelines to organize a CME by state? It's my
Bidding should be stopped.
Bidding should be stopped.
Should be in rotation.
It should according to like ABCD or Alpha or like this. Every state should have a chance to organize CME in IOCON. I apply for CME. Rajasthan chapter will apply.
Not only CME, including IOCON, why we want bidding? It should be in rotation.
That I think.
No. This is my opinion. At least CME we can organize like this. This chapter, next to next. So bidding for CME is, I think, is not.
Let us understand one thing. There's no doubt about that. We are very senior people who are leaders in their chapter are sitting here. To hold a national CME, one has to have a certain amount of people who are academically oriented or who are in the faculty, regular faculty and all those things. We have to think very rationally on this thing. States who have just joined in IO chapter and who have not been able to hold a bigger function till now, will they be given, if they are given the responsibility of holding a national CME, will they be able to do justice on that?
No, they can organize later
Well,
on.
list from those who are able to do it.
Those who are able and
the
willing.
idea was to have alphabetically. This is the idea you said. Alphabetically will include everybody. Thoda sa kuch, there has to be some.
Those who are able to do it. Then rotation.
How does one decide that you can't do it? That is even more. So yes, I would say that somebody who's bid, there should be a timeline for which they can't bid again. That is acceptable. That's a reasonable thought, because there are plenty others who can do it, but there are some who can keep bidding very strongly. So to prevent, we can go up to a certain level where our own team can assess after the bidding that this is the best. But we cannot decide who cannot do it. That's a very dangerous thing. Okay.
They want to do, they do it. They want to do, it's okay.
So is there anybody who felt that they can do it, have been trying for long and aren't being able to do it? Let's ask
we
it
can,
a question from the other
Raipur
side.
can do, sir, but we can't try it. We are thinking for that.
Yeah, so Raipur wants to do it, and
Yes,
they're thinking.
we are willing for that, but we haven't tried for that. This is national program, so there is some hitch. We can organize or not. So we request you people that we give some guidance and this decentralize.
Let
This
me,
is to be conducted.
let me tell you, how do the officials of IUA form a impression about, let us say, the educational qualities of a particular chapter or the organization qualities? Once we go there, we see there, we find out that the people who are giving good lectures. Somehow or other, it has been happening. Then in few chapters, in spite of repeated directions, requests, they have been little reluctant to call or to arrange for travel and all those things. I think the best way, by our protocol book, the president, secretary, and in their absence, the other office bearers can be called. Once these people go around in your chapter's annual meeting or any big function, one gets a fair idea whether things will run smoothly if this particular chapter takes over the CME. This is how I think the things develop. If you do one or two good functions in your state, and and IO people are there, then everybody gets a good idea. But if I go to a state and where the things are taken very leisurely, starts around 11 o'clock, then finish by 4 o'clock, things do not appeal to you. This happens sometimes. I'm being a little blunt. Please don't mind. I'm not hinting at anybody.
It's a 1 year time to organize the CME. Before ICON takes time, 2 years start. They now what we are doing, 2 years consecutively they organize CME, one chapter. Yeah.
3 years. 2 years.
Two years.
Yes, agree.
So you have a 2 years time to organize the CME next 2 years. Some state chapter wants to organize, if they are not going to, they don't have some good say infrastructure and all, they can develop. I think 2 years time is more than enough.
I think this point needs
everybody
to be...
everybody should take participation in ICON.
I think the aspirations are very valid, and if you don't aspire, you'll never get anything. So I do think it needs to be discussed again. You have to take it to the... Now, at the moment, it's just the two of us trying to take a call, whether it's good or bad, that's not enough. We also, even if we decided, we have to take it to the executive. It will give everybody time. Maybe by that time you will understand, or maybe you will want, no, we are not in a hurry. Or maybe we'll realize that, yes, why not? So one is that. Second thing is there will be more people sitting in that meeting. They will, and you will also be represented. And this this should be an important agenda. And this will be, And if it comes to it, then again we have to start deciding how to analyze that who should be able to do a CME. Objectivity is the final question.
Okay, I think we'll go with this idea that in the next EC meeting, I'll put up this point. And let us see what are the... Otherwise, normally, mostly, but till now it has happened like this only. Because since I've been seeing it for the past 7, 8 years. One or two chapters proposed to hold the CME, and mostly after a bit of talking and all those things, one chapter says, okay, withdraws, and the other person holds it. I don't think it has ever come to voting in the GB. It has never come to that stage. It has never come to that stage. It has never come to that stage. Till this time, it has been a loose arrangement. 2 or 3 people apply, and then we discuss with them, and one person, other 2 agree to withdraw, and one person holds it. This has been the general consensus. But if other states are, thinking of coming in, then we'll have to devise some method. We'll keep it in the next EC meeting. Let us see what is the consensus it develops.
Very important.
Sir, one more advice. We can increase this social activity, social programs. Like that CME, we can call any state that he can arrange any social activity during this IOCON.
That is the prerogative of whoever is organizing the IOCON. So, you can't have an alternative state. But what I was just thinking, it makes sense. Maybe, sir, somewhere down the line, if we have made a rule, this is just a off-the-cuff remark, that if there is a rule that only certain big cities can now hold this meeting, it's getting so big, then those places should not get the CME. If you are excluding some because of their size, then you give them, like we just talked about those points for those who can't do a conference. So these are thoughts which need to, this is evolution. Nothing, it's not that it's done. But yes, for that matter, you say Delhi, Maharashtra or Bombay. I'm saying, just this is off the cuff. It doesn't mean similarly Chennai and South. These big cities, if they're doing, then these states should keep out of the CME circuit. And the others will have to learn how to perform a CME. And maybe for first time, and let's say, for example, you just meant Raipur, can first time be attached to somebody who has done the CMA in the past, but it's being done by them in association with the other one, and next year the other one moves out and this one does the second one himself and learn the process of doing a CMA.
We conducted
like
this
that,
SARC workshop, sir. Last year, we organized this as Central Zone workshop, and we are having this international airport, having 4 or 5 five-star hotels, and one of the best capital of the India. It is going to be emerging best city. So naturally, we are having infrastructure, but usually most of the people don't know.
Yeah. Now we understand it's not about just you, it's a principle at the moment. You could be a starter of this principle because you're excited, you think you have better infrastructure out of those who have comparatively less. So all these things, he's already recorded it here for the next meeting. Any other point while...
So regarding obituary, I don't know whether obituary, after last executive meeting, August 3rd, August 5th, we lost Professor Vijay Kumar.
I think that I must ask all of you.
I had sent you a mail. I don't know whether you have presented.
Just give it to me once again, sir. Dr. Chaku, we knew.
And Dr. K.K. Govindan.
Dr. K.K. Govindan.
And Dr. Professor Vijay Kumar.
Dr. Vijay Kumar.
Yes.
And one more I think you mentioned yesterday.
Professor Vijay Kumar, I sent a mail.
Dr. Chaku, Dr. K.K. Govindan, Dr. Vijay Kumar.
Yes.
These 3 people.
Sir, Professor Dr. Paulos Chaku.
Professor Mishra was last year or this year?
No, it was last year, but GBM के बाद last GBM
अच्छा, last GBM के बाद it happened. Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Subrato Dasgupta.
Dr. Suresh Bandel.
Which Bandel?
Dr. Suresh Bandel.
कौन से Bandel?
Dr. Suresh Bandel from Gwalior.
BNDA.
How old was he?
I think 60, less than 60. Around 60.
The same fellow who was in Delhi Sadram Hospital.
Yeah.
How what happened?
Cardiac arrest. He was applying plaster.
I was his officer.
He was applying plaster and cleaning. Collapse. And nobody was able to carry him to hospital. 4 months ago.
He was the only person who used to sign in Hindi from the very beginning.
He is FCH from Liverpool.
Very short period. I'll repeat the names which are written down. Dr. Paulos Chaku, Dr. K. Govindan, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Dr. U.S. Mishra, Dr. Subrato Dasgupta, Dr. Suresh Bandel. Anybody remember anybody else? Since the last GVM.
Sir, Ashok Varma. Dr. B.B. Bhatnagar, Ahmedabad.
B.B. Bhatnagar.
Dr. Ahmed Siddiq from Allahabad.
डॉक्टर भटाल कहाँ से थे?
मुरादाबाद.
Ahmed Siddiq.
हाँ जी?
Ahmed Siddiq.
हाँ लिखिए. अहमद सिद्दीकी.
Ashok Varma.
अशोक वर्मा कहाँ से?
इलाहाबाद वाले
Sagar, Madhya Pradesh.
डॉक्टर सिद्दीक फ्रॉम इलाहाबाद हैं? ये कब की बात है?
31st September.
I just operated his wife of. Is that elderly gentleman, है ना? And he is a friend of Dr. Farooq and all that in Delhi. तो उनकी वाइफ का भी पीछे ऑपरेट किया.
ये भी
साल एक
कार्डियक अरेस्ट.
7-8 बजे.
कौन सा प्रभाव किया हमने? दिल्ली से सागर लौट रहे थे ट्रेन में.
वीरेंद्र सर? हाँ?
एक तो सर ये जो मेंबरशिप ड्राइव में there are states who are doing very good, so they should be appreciated.
Yes, that's acceptable, and I think
That is totally objective.
yeah.
That does not require any.
And we know UP is doing very well, and there is no doubt. I mean, that's facts and figures, and it needs to be appreciated. Agreed.
Number 2, sir, you must be getting thousands of mails. Office is getting thousands of mail, but there are only 20 presidents sitting here, and they write almost
once in 3 months or 6 months, they should be replied. A reply should be given to them.
Because I'm not going to take his side, but believe me, what he is replying, I'm not going to need him from 2 days from now. but from the fact of the matter is, no promise, I honor trust. If you haven't got a reply or two back, the number of mails he replies, my phone is almost jammed. He is very particular, and let's give it. But yes, if they have been missed out, I think there's always scope for improvement. There's always scope for improvement. But
Only ragged me yesterday evening. I told you the reason why I didn't reply to your last mail. But
कभी हो जाता है, बहुत बड़ा मुश्किल है. एक दिन आप भी बनोगे, बात करेंगे.
बड़ा मुश्किल है. Things are very difficult.
Sir, but I have to say one thing before this. My request to all states, sir, this is a very important thing. I think somewhere in the system it has to be realized, wherever the conference is done, there has to be an important positioning of the state executive, especially the president and secretary. Yeah, so this is to be on record, and it is not on courtesy. This is not an option. This is not a request. This is mandatory. It has to be very clear, sir. Sir, it is important. No, sir, we won't talk about time, sir. अच्छा. हाँ. तो रमेश सेन हिमाचल में घूम तो चंडीगढ़ हैं? अच्छा अच्छा, वो ठीक है. हाँ जी.
Regarding this, I have a request. The membership of IOA should be routed through the state chapter.
That is already there. Go ahead. It is that we love it. In fact, we want you to collect the money and send it here. We are very keen, and we have been saying this repeatedly. It is agreed, boss. Let's not. This is agreed. Sorry.
For a non-member, so that he become a member without the blue book, first state chapter member, then he can become a member.
Sir, आपका
5,000 रुपए देने में बड़ा हिच करते हैं, उनका यहाँ पर 3 गुना ज्यादा.
3 गुना नहीं, वो मार्जिनली ज़्यादा रख सकते हैं आप. 3 गुना में तो फिर आपका वो नंबर्स लूज करेंगे. ये एक माइंड सेट है डॉक्टर साहब. आप काम अच्छा करते जाइए, आपकी मीटिंग अच्छी होती जाए, धीरे धीरे बढ़ता जाएगा. इसका इलाज ये है, जिसका पता चले मेंबर नहीं है ना, उसको पकड़ के कहो चल यार मैं देता हूँ, चल. 1-2 बारी करवा लेगा, और तीसरी बारी सर आप कर लो, 1 बारी कर ले, 2 बारी. सर अगर आपको 2
बुढ़ा हो गया, मतलब 70 साल हो गए, मैं सब देख रहा हूँ तमाशे, ऐसा नहीं होगा.
Sir, one point to make, sir. Sir, in the last meeting in March, there was a proposal that the IOA with the microlabs and Synthes people will organize workshops in various states. So I went back and I talked to certain people, and we had centers ready to host that, but I didn't get any feedback on that, sir. The microlab Synthes course.
Microlab was supposed to bring out a MOU with IOA, but something how this thing has not turned up. I think they didn't took it to the final conclusion. That is why it could not be done.
This.
Synthesis में बात ही खत्म हो गया, मतलब totally.
The second point was, sir, in continuation of what Dr. Dhiren Singh said, to appreciate the membership. I was just reading the blue book that Dr. Sudhir Kapoor sir has sent to all. There is a provision there that a certificate of appreciation is given to any member who makes 10 or more members, and out of those, there is an award, a gold medal for an outstanding membership drive award to the member who makes, on a personal basis, the highest number, maximum number of members. Can you enlighten us on that, sir?
Sir, I had उस blue book में लिखा, as the blue book which has been sent to you, has shown all the discussions which had happened on a particular topic. There may have been several discussions. The final one on that particular topic will be taken as true. I have written from the very beginning. If you notice that, ये कुछ points ऐसे हैं, they were discussed, जैसे हम यहाँ discuss कर रहे हैं, but nothing was finalized. Those points are there. Idea is to tell you what are. Let us take membership. There is a column of membership. Whatever all the discussions were taken in EC regarding that particular membership drive, they are written in that particular clause, and we have written that the last one, which is ultimately approved by GBM, will be taken as the true one. I don't think this particular thing ultimately came through.
I mean, certificate of appreciation is definitely on the cards, but medal business, the problem is a lot of people feel incapacitated. They say UP is so big, it's a country, and how can smaller states compete with you? So, but you can, they can't compete, fine, but they can't deprive you of certificate of appreciation, sir. You have to define how many members from a state above certificate can be given. That should not, and I don't think this needs that makes sense. That motivates. Otherwise, why would anybody then put in all the effort next year?
What is the number?
Individual. Should it be individual? Should it be a state secretary? Let's put it like that. No, sir.
State chapter 100, maybe 100 and more.
No, 100 is not believable. 100 is not going to happen.
So if it happens, you can give him. One chapter, that's it. That is good.
It's a responsibility of the state secretary to see that maximum number of IOA membership is given.
So we can think of, say, if somebody state makes 25, you say this is a bronze certificate, which will be yellow. Then there's a white certificate for who makes 50. And there's a golden color certificate of 100. Yeah. So that will give everybody can get at least one certificate. I mean, depending on what they've done. But I feel instead of individual, it should go to the state secretary, because the whole effort has to be coordinated by secretary. And it can even be given, if you can think it's not a big deal. It says goes to the states of so and so, and in addition you can give one to the secretary. As his individual keep, and one goes to his state office, whatever they want to put. That can be done. One goes to the individual, but the individual, somebody, you see, as HOD, his name is on all the papers. He doesn't write even one of them. So that kind of thing. But at the same time, many secretaries will do the work, many will be assisted, but at least they're coordinating it, and in their tenure they brought it forward. But you can't get two, the same secretary will not get two same certificates or the lower one. So if this year you have made 50, next year you won't get 25 certificate. It has to be 100 or none. So you can't keep getting the same certificate for 3 years. No?
Sir,
no value.
Can I say something?
Please.
Sir, regarding the competitive session about the PG quiz, can you give us a guideline? Who are the candidates to whom we can send? Who are the eligible candidate? PGT. In this year, now I am coming to the point that in this year there is a clear-cut guideline, but previous years we used to arrange a competitive. We have a lot many PGTs. We arrange a date and pick up 2 toppers and send the name within 30th September every year. But this year there was a announcement that on the day of quiz there should not be a sent-up candidate, or dates, the results should not be declared, would not be published. That's that they should not be the examinee actually. I want a guideline.
No. Say it again, sir. What I know about this thing is that you are supposed to hold a PG quiz in your own chapter, and number 1 and number 2 are supposed to come. But if that number 1 or 2 has cleared the exam before he comes for this particular PG, then he cannot be taken as PG. This is what is meant by that.
The real problem is there in Kerala state.
Will you take the person who has cleared his PG? You can't let him appear with the other person who have yet to clear.
last January,
You have,
all the contestants cleared MS.
I mean, you can't make them sit with people who are not
I
cleared.
had to find out one PG to send for this.
I,
All the contestants cleared.
I mean, for today, on 5th of August, he should still be PG. That's what you mean.
Yes, sir.
If he has already cleared his PG, then how can he sit for the PG competition?
Now, what is the cut-off date then?
We are expecting that you are sending us the right information.
No, sir. Give us a cut-off date on which they are not.
Sir, on the day of the PG quiz, on the day of the PG, today was the first round. The person who has appeared today should be a PG today. If he's already cleared his PG about 2 months ago, then we can't come in this competition.
No, that's not the problem. We have to choose two of them beforehand. Otherwise, how can we send them? Third year PGT, there are different problems.
I think, boss, I'm getting a feeling you started enjoying this meeting. We should now close this because there's cricket. Do me a favor, if you can all come near, get me a quick picture before Dr. Kapoor takes my medallion away in 2 days' time. Let's quickly do this so that I have a picture with me as a member. Thank you very much. खत्म कर रहे तो मजे लेने लगे